Okay, so looks like we're back for week 5 Crawl Cosplay Sudden Death Tournament. This week we're doing HuWn Wanderer. We've already got a win from Pie Demon, and he's got every one-time bonus done as well, putting him at 70 points, which is going to be a really high bar. Going to be hard to get there. OUSD is still able to catch up or pass by 1 point, so their max right now is 71. Agent Chuck, I think, is in the same or a similar boat. If they get Ascetic this week, they could get 15 more, so they could get to 70, tie with Pie Demon. But for us to pull ahead and get in first, it's all about the Ascetic rune. Past that, we don't even actually need to win if we just get a couple bonuses. So let's look at the week. Like I said, HuWn Wanderer. And fortunately for Ascetic, this week is really, really easy compared to the others. Bonus 1 is basically not a conduct or a challenge in any way. You don't have to finish slime. You just have to remember to poke your head in. Bonus 2 is a little tight, maybe, but really not bad. You might have to dive vaults a bit and go there earlier than you normally would. The gods this week are kind of weird, especially like Jivia and Beog. You know, 2 of these you can't really get consistently, right? 2 don't show up in Temple. So that makes it kind of not a choice. You would basically get red if you don't get one of the other ones before getting to Temple, most likely. So, you know, just going over what's happening in the tournament, what the plan is. So here, same stuff, like I said. Just poke your head in slime for bonus 1. For vaults 5, under 19, you may want to dive with Revelation Scrolls. The pathing, really straightforward. Like, it's a pretty normal route besides poking your head in slime. But this is what I would normally do anyways. I would normally just do, like, second S branch in vaults, or second S branch in elf. So it's not very different. The plan, though, to get 10 points this week, first of all, we need the Ascetic rune. Like, that's the big aim here. Can't win without it. So getting 10 points, though, should be pretty straightforward, right? The gods or God is basically chosen for you. It would be kind of a weird circumstance to get Jivia in a reasonable time frame. You can't, due to the nature of the tournament rules, you can't actually take a god before taking one of the god choices for the week. So you can't do, like, Eli TSO into Jivia when you find them in Lair 4 or 5 outside the slime entrance. So that's not an option, the god swap. Then there's also just the fact that the Jivia altar isn't guaranteed. So you have a 2 in 3 chance to find a Jivia altar on Lair 4 or 5. And to get there and get the god point, you would have to be atheist until then. So Jivia is basically a non-option. The only time, and this is interesting for Ascetic especially, the only time we would take Jivia is if we found them early in a sewer. Or, also funny, since we have a Wanderer start, which is random, and we have the Mulligan under XL5, if we found a Faded Altar with Jivia before we get to XL5, we could roll for that. And if we just miss on it, we just quit, re-roll, and keep going. Similarly, just for the Wanderer start, which is totally random, we may want to just re-roll if we get garbage. No real reason to like go through a ton of effort just to be in a position after, you know, the first couple floors that you're not strong enough or not gonna have a good time. Yeah, I think the Faded Altar thing, at least as far as I read into the rules, right? It's really just in number 5, right? 3 gods, bonus point on 6 stars. Point is lost if you abandon or are excommunicated or worship another god first. Doesn't say anything about Faded Altar. So, you know, that kind of weird Jivia Faded Altar strategy, I think is within the rule set. So it's also super unlikely, right? Like you'd have to find a Faded Altar before level 5, XL5. Jivia would have to be on there. You'd have to, you know, win the 1 in 3 roll for Jivia and go from there. That would definitely be something worth doing, though, because I've gotten Jivia in a sewer a couple times or from a Faded Altar, and by the time you hit the end of Lair, you're at 6-star piety. You max your piety out with Jivia by the time you're at the end of Lair, getting them super duper early, which would mean we could just waltz into Slime, take a rune, and get Ascetic. And like it would just shortcut us ahead of the S branch, ahead of Orc, ahead of the end of Dungeon. So if we got Jivia early, that would be the safest route to victory. Weirdly, not necessarily winning the game, because having no consumables from the beginning is pretty painful. But as far as getting Ascetic, consumables don't matter, right? Oh, looks like network issue. All right, let's see. Consumables don't matter for Jivia, so that would be the one weird win condition with Jivia. So the other weird one, or not even weird, like if we just run into a priest, we can save ourselves with Bayog and still get the god point. So that becomes a good option. Ooh. Dang it, it looks like I am disconnecting. Really disappointing to have these issues, because I went through the trouble of getting a new modem and router, which just put in today. Still, internet doesn't seem stable enough for streaming, so that's a shame. But we're just gonna push through. Sorry if it's unwatchable. Just gonna, at the very least, do what I can and put the recording on YouTube after if it's interesting. But playing God by ear because of Bayog and the weird Jivia condition. And then, assuming things are pretty normal, we would just get red. Yeah, it's not even my area, I don't think. I don't know what it is. Like it started, I don't know, maybe a year ago, just getting choppier. I don't know if there's like an issue with my equipment. Well, not equipment, it just got replaced. Like the wiring, like a old coax cable. Like I don't know at this point. Um tried to get it resolved with a new modem, but doesn't seem to have done the trick. So we'll have to keep figuring that out. Um, but for Ascetic, at least, red is a really good option. They give you the shaft immunity with the torch up. They give you the reaping aura, which is extremely powerful in the early game, like up to the first rune. And the bound soul, the main game here is the protect the snail minigame, which is finding a torpor snail in Lair, binding them, and then just having a permanent slow aura against everything you encounter as long as you can keep it alive. So hopefully we get to that point where we can just play protect the snail and have an easy time essentially being permanently hasted for the, you know, for the duration of the snail's life. Got to remember to dip into slime for bonus 1. Do normal stuff until S branch, be done with Ascetic, dive vaults 5. I checked my experience level on HuWns, and reaching around 17 or reaching XL 17 around the end of the first S branch. So I normally don't skip anything, so I don't think there's any reason to. I think you can pretty easily dive vaults from 17 and get bonus 2. And from there, it's just kind of a regular game. Just gotta not flub it. Going for 9 points, we could abandon bonus 2 and have just like a totally normal route. Like this is what I would normally do. Which, might accidentally happen. Funnily, Pie Demon got 3 experience potions they used, but they were still able to get bonus 2. So even if you're hugely ahead of schedule, it's still doable. So I'm not really worried about losing bonus 2. So we're not even really going to think about that. For 8 points, we could abandon both bonuses and have just a totally regular game. Also not going to worry about that. Right? The bonuses are easy enough that there's no real reason to do that. For 7 points, we could abandon both bonuses and the gods, and Ash instead of any of the other 3 would make Ascetic a bit safer. If you do have to abandon it, you have all your stuff ID'd. On top of that, you have all the various protections that come along with that, like clarity, malevolent force protection, like seeing through walls too, like dungeon mapping. All really good stuff for doing something like Ascetic. But I really doubt we're going to go for that, and if we do, we can still get the other bonuses, right? So really for 9 points, we would just abandon the god point and do the bonuses with Ash. So god choice is what it really comes down to. It's important. Kind of a rough plan of what I would want to do if I got red, be like a strength melee polearms guy. I would want to play something. I wouldn't want to play a caster, really. The zombies are going to get in the way. And I would want to just play something that's as tanky as possible, right? Just to be as safe as I can for Ascetic. But that's the rough plan right now. Now, obviously, we could just get completely hosed and die in the early game, anyways, and all this planning is pointless. But assuming we don't, assuming we get a rune aesthetically, I think that puts us in a position where we're at least tied for first. So, gonna aim for that. Couple morgues. And now we'll switch to that. Also, a couple things for Ascetic. Added auto-inscribing to put, read confirmation and drink confirmation on scrolls and potions so we don't fat finger and lose it. Also, trying this force more that should work on everything that's like a unique in the game. So we'll see how those work. If they don't, we just inscribe manually. But let's get it going. Go full screen. And HuWn Wanderer. Let's see what we got. Dagger, Atropa, Datura, Wand of Flame, Attraction, Slow, and Dazzling Flash. And we got, for stats, 3, 4, 5 in Strength Int Dex. Got this weird water layout. The skills are actually not that bad for D1. Having stealth and a chunk of fighting, pretty good for surviving. The rest of this, though, is basically garbage. This is... The items are probably worse than almost any other start in the game. The Wand of Flame is the only decent thing. But I'm not just gonna quit out immediately. Yeah, it looks like we're still having connection issues, which is super duper exciting. See if maybe closing some other stuff makes any kind of difference. Really doubt it. But not much choice, really. We have to press on, despite the awful internet. And importantly, we're not going to be using auto explore. This is a really not great start. Trying to control line of sight. Okay, a rat I can deal with. Okay, that's fairly safe. Plate, okay, and now we have to deal with a shouty goblin. Back it up. We're gonna go here. This is as close to safety as we can get. Probably worth using the wand. Miss, and got him. All right, 2 wand charges already. Not a great start. Rat ton. don't want to mess around with, but not much of a choice. Let's come down here. Yeah, the magic is, I mean, there's really no magic, right? It's slow. Yeah, there's an argument to be made for the plate armor. The reason I wouldn't want to, or the reason I don't want to, is just for the stealth, really. The 3 stealth is just gonna, you know, we're gonna go down to, like, literally nothing with the plate, and there is something to be gained from stabbing, or having the option, or just not waking stuff up if you can avoid it. So we'll see how slow works. Probably won't at all, and then we'll get in an awful constrict situation like this. Probably Wand of Flame, right? 2d5. Has 0% chance to hit you. That must be like a display issue from being constricted. So, alright, Wand of Flame saved us. And there's an Awake Goblin over here, so we might as well. A Sleepy Kobold. Yeah, I just gotta be as cautious as possible, because we're basically losing to a snake. So I think if we run out of wand charges, I'll be a lot more inclined to wear the plate. And getting a couple more hex things. So hexes might be a real option. And looks like the auto inscribe is working. So that's exciting. Okay. 53%. I have no idea how long. Clearly not very long at all. Ringmail, though, that I will wear. Like, I usually look for just what's the highest net between AC and EV, and Ringmail is basically the sweetest spot early on. Like, this is, if for whatever reason AC and EV were equal value, don't know that they are, but plate armor would be like a loss, right? Yeah, Twitch is really not having a good time. Let's just go here. See if we can't do that. All right, change servers in the Streamlabs setting. No idea if it's going to make any kind of a difference. Really doubt it. Highly skeptical. Basically, my internet is still not stream worthy, which is unfortunate. I definitely should have looked at my skills and changed them up before doing this, you know, before killing stuff. So 3 charges of flame. Yeah, let's just do a little more stealth. See how we do with that. Still getting dropped frame stuff. Try and pull this apart if I can. This is going poorly though. Take stones. Yeah, at this point I don't know what to do about the internet, honestly. Probably getting to be above my pay grade, but we'll keep trying. Longsword though, really nice find. Should probably just switch right to that. It's gonna be a lot more effective than the dagger. Great, Jackal Pack. It's probably wise to use the, well, we can use stones. Did nothing. Okay, not going so bad so far. Okay, managed to get through that. Yes, 75% frame drop. So let's keep trying this a little bit. Keep messing with this. It's going back to that. Let's just select a server and see how that goes. Right, trying various Streamlab recommendations, which so far I haven't done much. Wizardry though, nice find. Being mildly pushed towards being a caster. That's much better. Sort of forcing myself not to auto explore. 1d5 cold. We can hit it with a rock. Yeah. Yeah, that's fine. Keep it moving. Nope, despite the server change, which is the only thing it really recommends, did not help. So just gonna look at Twitch for a quick second, because obviously it's pointless for me to stream if it's this bad. The bitrate seems fine. Yeah, really not having a good time, and I just replaced my router to try and fix this. So really disappointing. But you know, not much I can do about it, at least right now. So Maybe it'll clear over time. Maybe that's really overly optimistic. But don't have options, unfortunately. And that should be the last kobolds. Yeah, the longsword is definitely the way to go. Quokka, this is the real test. And I'm not going to be able to get it into water, but we can get over here. Give it a second. Yeah, Atropa is probably worth doing, actually. So let's... Alright, cool. Didn't really help. But good to know that it's sort of an option. Still going for stealth. And that's it for D1. I guess I should ask myself if this start is bad enough to warrant just restarting. And I don't think it's bad enough yet, but gonna need to think about it at XL4 like that. That was not good. Classic cockroach. Up to 3. So I guess the question is enter dex at this point. Could go strength. I think just for the early game, we'll go dex. At least help mildly with EV. And the weapon we're using. So, all right. So here's the potential comedy option. And swing and a miss. So no Jivia faded. Okay. Do not want to deal with the adder. Not at all. Let's actually close the door. Yeah, none of this matters. The Dread Quokka. Need to consistently pull things back. Okay, this is bad. Hopefully... Okay. Hopefully the adder doesn't know where we are. But multiple D2 adders is pretty devastating, actually. Anything here? No. Python. Yeah, we can deal with pythons at least. It's just if we deal with an adder or even attempt to, we've got no options, right? We've got a longsword, and I mean, we're not going to be able to level it up in time really for it to make a difference, but we might want to just level longswords. Okay, This is very bad now. Very out of position. Wonder 60%, 35%. See if we can't. Okay, so we got that done. 148. Let's at least try Atropa. Really unlikely, but yep, unlikely. There's the first poison. Okay. Lucked out there. Really cannot count on getting lucky like that. The adders, though, are a better argument for the plate armor, right? They don't do any damage. They can't poison you. And yep, so even game is lagging for me. Yeah, I guess nothing has changed internet-wise. So at least not an equipment issue. Yeah, should stay away from this. So 5.8. Yeah, it would go down to just 10.8. I'm curious, so we could look at 59 to hit you. I mean, I'm sure it goes down to just basically nothing, but assuming that's looping back around because it's such low EV. So we'll keep the chance to dodge. Yeah, that's basically all the level if I don't want to try and deal with adders, which I really don't. So let's check down a bit. Avoid the door. One stone, sure. Another door. Okay, get the slug. Good. Still want to avoid opening doors. We'll avoid the trap. As soon as I say that, I open a door, but old habits die hard, I guess. Shout and shout back. Let's go here. Yeah, this is not great. Probably want to find the shout. Really need like a wand to feel any kind of safe. Okay, this is this is not great. So this does mean to me though that the RC setting I put in that is supposed to like put out a force more for any kind of named thing. It's basically supposed to catch anything that has a capital letter in its name. Doesn't seem to be working, but we're far enough away. Maybe we can completely separate Robin. Orc Priest, awful. Yeah, I wonder how far we can take Robin. +0 helmet. We've got 4 poison darts. Did not clock that. So, like, let's just keep going. If we okay, so this is where the human regen is important, or can be important. If we fight here and lose health, mana, we can move southeast, and assuming that's like a totally open area, that'll open a bunch of tiles at once and give us some good healing. So Robin's at max range, or almost. We're going to take a stand here. I think he's separated from his goblin pack. 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we got 2 stacks of poison on them. Just for good measure. Okay. Goblins will feast on your bones. Cool. It's not going to work great if you don't have any. 7 damage, 16 health. Alright, easy peasy. Get another AC there, and get our darts back. Okay, that went quite well, or as well as one would hope. The real threat now is that Orc Priest. And it may mean we end up going Beog, sort of against our will. But there are worse things. Really? Alright. They're way up north. Okay. So we'll try to keep to the bottom of the map. This is the last level we can still reset on. Okay, double move, really bad. This is where that force more would be really handy. So just because I was looking at RC stuff today, I think I might know what the issue is. So let's just see if it's this. I don't know if the more was like shorthand in their RC file to just make it easier, but you know, if it still doesn't work, we're not in any different of a position. But Terrence and an adder at once is really spooky. And they've got heavy as well. And stream is going down. Yeah, really not great. Let's just start this path now. Sorry that we just keep disconnecting. I know it's garbage to watch, I'm sure. Don't think there's no way I could kite all the way back to the dispersal, and what would really be the point? I don't want the adder to get next to me, or in front of Terrence, who I think is who we're role-playing as, actually. But if we fight Terrence in the doorway, there's a possibility we kill him and then can immediately close the door on the adder. So I think we'll just go with this positioning. I doubt the adder has more HD than Terrence, so they shouldn't swap. Getting pretty beat up by the flail, though. Datura does frenzy, which means he might kill the adder, but also would get hasted and mighted on top of us. So just, Hail Mary. Okay, we got Terrence to kill the adder. It's interesting. Let's not sure where to go from here. Guess long blades, and now we need to get away from hasted mighted Terrence. That's probably not going to go great, right? We could try the Atropa, I guess. Blind him and kind of get him to wander away. So let's try it. Okay, he's blind. Doesn't seem to mean anything. And I think because it's just me here, he's not going to... he's not going to stop attacking. He's not going to get distracted or anything. So likely dead here. But it's at XL4, so not a huge deal. But he can just one-shot us. Might as well use this. Terrence misses you. Cool. All that's left is auto-attacking, so... Yep, that's it. Okay, so level 4, though, we have our mulligan still. So just double checking, just for my own sake. One redo if your first game ends in death with XL under 5. Okay, so lost our first attempt to a spooky Terrence. Datura was probably not the right play. Maybe it was just Atropa to begin with, but I would like this thing to work, and I'm not sure how to get it to. So let's just try again. Okay, HuWn Wander. Okay, this seems a bit better. Pretty significantly better in a couple ways. 4 Evo with 7 uses of Mind Burst is, you know, like practically an Artificer start, right? 2 Long Blades, +1 Falchion. Armor doesn't really matter. But none of this feels terribly wasted outside the shapeshifting and spellcasting, kinda. So this does look like a better start, at least. And we can at least start with paying attention to our skills. Hopefully this time we don't run into... Oh, here we go. Okay, so we're already getting much better items, at least. Wizardry did nothing for us. Gloves, cool. Yeah, 1.2, 10 damage. Pretty good for D1. Yeah, you guys can come here. We'll just go all the way to... Like, I'm just not gonna futz around with ball pythons. I'm gonna get constricted and killed immediately. Okay, kobold. And free stones, cool. At least the auto inscribe works, so that's a plus. And ringmail again with 1 armor, almost definitely going to be better than leather. Yeah, ringmail is just like, I don't know, the best balance of defense for encumbrance early on. Dart slug. Okay, went pretty well. Our stats are a lot better this time around too. I don't really want to be a caster, so not even losing, only getting 1 point in int and then 6 in dex and starting with a longsword, we can pretty easily just go for longswords on this guy. And in that spirit, we'll do 1 more fighting, and then probably more long blades. Slug, quokka. Probably playing a little reckless because I feel strong. Another potential Fated Altar. So, this would be a really funny gamble, honestly. 2 out of 3, we get a god point, right? 1 out of 3, we lose out on the god point, but get a really strong start. And 1 out of 3 to get Jivia, which would make the Ascetic as easy as possible, potentially, by unlocking slime for us. Yeah, this is really tempting, honestly. And it's probably not a good idea. Don't have any sort of reset left, right? The mulligan's over. We'll just see. Okay, so like a cloak, +2 cloak at that. This is a really way better start than the last one. I think because we got all this aux gear, because we got good stats, I'm gonna take the Faded Altar, I think. Just because I think it would be... I think it's funny no matter what way it goes, right? So let's do what's funny. Alright, Bayog. We are an orc. And we still get our god point. Important to remember though, I just want to keep my piety down by using smite so I can avoid challenges early on. They can just be really out of hand. Yep, I'm lagging out. Okay. Let's try this again. Completely losing internet, not just being spotty, so trying to just record this. But I think if it gets worse or keeps happening, I'm gonna give up on it for today. Which is really, really annoying, honestly. But we may be able to get somewhere. We may also just die and be out of the tournament. We'll see what happens. It'll be just us seeing it for now. And yeah, this is still choppy. Playable-ish, but really choppy. Yeah, this is genuinely abysmal. Honestly extraordinary. New worm. I guess it's a frilled lizard now. Go towards long blades and get more decks, right? Seem to be long blades guy. Working pretty well. You know, 10 damage this early. Nothing to sneeze at. We do have our god. Wasn't nearly as funny as it could have been if we had gotten Jivia, but we can still get the god point at least. Just need to not get ourselves killed via Bayog challenges. easier said than done, right? Yeah, but really, really great defenses for this early. Infinitely better shape on this character than the last one. So dying was probably a good thing overall. Chainmail is another good option. Curare, 6 of them. I guess the question here, well, we could trade Mind Burst for them, right? Yeah, so we'll just do this, that, and that. Cool. And didn't even lose any. So 6 Curare, 6 Mind Burst, by D2, Amulet of Reflection, multiple Ox pieces, which are enchanted. Couldn't ask for a much better start, honestly. Probably want a little bit of throwing for Curare. Assuming, I mean, there's no assuming, right? There's almost no chance that the internet just bounces back and is fine all of a sudden. But we might go live if we, I don't know. I feel like it's plausible. Should not auto explore most likely. Still, even being this strong. Yeah, we'll quiver stones because they're still. They're semi-useful this early. That. The Dread Adder. Not nearly as evasive as they normally are. Don't know what they're doing. Okay, cool. The orcs are already. Oh, I spoke too soon. I was gonna say they're already friendly, but okay. Just in case that didn't like hit, I think we just do that a couple times and we're good. These are really good consumables to start with. Like Curare, Mind Burst, Arlek even, in case we like get ganked by some eels. Yeah, we'll keep on keeping on. We got the, like, all the nice early spells. Okay, so we even have Blink. So, translocations. Just put that on the list. Another adder. And, yeah, they're not dodging these worth a shit. Just tanking them to the face. So it might, yeah, we'll actually just go for, we'll go for better throwing, just because we're a brigand now, essentially. Our whole game plan, is Curare. Double move, not great, but we can unfuck it. And okay, slowed again. Slowed again. Great, you should just die from that. He did not. There we go. Poison kicks in. Kill. So 2 throwing, just because I like symmetry, we'll get dodge up a smidge. See if we can get a bit more health. And still haven't lost a dart. Yeah, these heretic wizards. Really getting on my nerves. Clearly, they have not gotten the memo on who is the orc messiah. But we'll teach them. We'll catch them up to speed. I mean, if I can get experience off them, like I might as well, you know. Yeah. Since he didn't recognize me as one of the one true orcs, clearly a heretic priest. Like I don't. Oh, +3 leather. That's really good. Yeah, this character's just off to a much better start. I'm very happy about it. Shouldn't be auto-exploring this early again. Like just looked at my stats for my deaths. Oh, not a good position. Over 70% of my deaths this year have been in pre-Lair dungeon. So if I could get better at that, I think auto-exploring, you know, not doing that would be a big part of it, or would go a long way. That would seriously cut down on my losses, which would be nice. Yeah, you're still RC. I could boomerang. Mind Burst doesn't work on them. I think we should let Sleeping Jellies lie, though. Just out of an abundance of caution. Because I've died to them. I've just died to them too many times. You know, they hit you and corrode you. You hit them, that corrodes you. Suddenly you're at, you know, -8 corrosion. Same thing happens next round, and you're just in an unsalvageable situation at that point. And with Ascetic, and no real, you know, not many options for salvaging shit shows, we gotta do our best to avoid them entirely. And speaking of shit shows, the challenger system for Bayog. Oh, Moccasin. Our poise. Yeah, no spells. It's just a reflex. Definitely want to avoid them, but this can do, you know, on average, what, 9 + 16, 15 damage. I can do it twice. I could boomerang for 8, and even Mind Burst. So yeah, 3d12 on Mind Burst. This is obviously risky, but I think it's worth the experience. Yeah, no, definitely good. I think 5 we'll get smiting to, yeah, like 1%. And we're also up to 3 casts at 9 mana. So in good shape. And with the, with the leather, with the stealth training, even with 2, very little. It's like the bare minimum for me. Just happening upon all these sleeping things. And +1, okay. Like, for me, it's really hard to assess the value of stealth. But when you have throwables or, whatever kind of projectile that is really impactful, in this case, Curare. Weirdly, like if you're a troll and you have high stealth for some reason, just getting a large rock hit on something that's asleep and can't dodge it is really big. Like just being able to do this is such a big deal. Like I can't really oversell it. So, maybe stealth is worth more than I think it is. Along that line, we'll even get some more. I'm not afraid to admit that I might be wrong about stealth. Normally I would think of it as like you want to try and stab things. But if you can get an impactful projectile off, that's a lot better. This guy, if we get slept, he won't be able to kill us. And yeah, we can just finish him with a smite. Still fairly laggy with, nothing up but like Discord and the game. So streaming is probably not a great idea. It's still just gonna be, shitty and choppy. But we're getting close to the point that the game gets a bit safer, for me at least. Apparently the old adage of the game being won by Lair, it might be true. Yeah, let's do that. That's fine. Now though, let's get Longblades up some more. Don't know. What do you have? Short Sword of Venom. Yeah. So you can come southeast, right? And then go down the shaft. And we're not dying to Venom today. Things are going too well. Yeah, things are going too well to just throw this away on a Venom Dagger Kobold. Restoring some Curare. Heretic Priest, who I should have Curara'd while they were asleep. Now we're in this situation. Not great. So we can do that. Smite the Ice Beast if my internet ever fucking cooperates. Oh my god. Jesus. Like, I'm not in the middle of nowhere or anything. I don't don't know why I'm not allowed to have decent fucking internet. Alright. Alright. God, am I the heretic priest? Dude, sure had Bayog's favor, it seemed like. Necro starty spells. We're not going to go down that route. And these are mindless, yeah. So we'll get you back here. And that's good. Back to stones, just to get attention. Really. Yeah, okay. Pretty good shape still. 1.0 on the long blade. Very nice. Okay. There's red. And ash we might have taken. But you know, the gamble is just too fun to pass up. That's the honest truth. I'm a serious sucker for a faded altar. And now we have to deal with the jelly. We have smite though, so we should be okay. One smite, not quite, but boomerang does it. Now, I think I want to lean into long blades some more. Right, let's just see what's available. There's a trident, there's a war axe. We're about to hit, or not about to, but we're gonna hit 9 next. And I'm almost definitely gonna want to put it into dex. So might as well keep going with the long blade. It is our main thing besides curare. But we'll get that to 6 too pretty soon. Again with the jellies. I guess this. Okay. Right, making good progress. We are. I'm just gonna be totally anal about this. We are still ascetic. Okay, there's the roar of battle. Baileys are huge, but they're huge because they usually have XP pots and acquirement scrolls, which we're not allowed to have. So, shit. Just deal with this troll. Mm, 20 and 15 each. Yeah, that's too much. Wow, his mind is unblowable. Literally the smartest troll of all time. Really shitty thing to turn the corner into, though. And as you can possibly tell from how choppy this is, don't think it would be a good idea to stream it. Like, waiting 10 seconds here for inputs to go through. That's just not right. Like, but completely off screen to me. I just grabbed that scroll and like there's a orc somewhere that fell on its knees, and I just couldn't even clock it because of the fucking lag. Things really need to get the memo. A lot of heretics. Very distant. Water is typically the sign of a Bailey. Or one of them, right? See this little... Ooh. Okay. We do have some piety, but I think we just want to not really risk it. Didn't lose any Curar. We'll take that scale mail. Not sure how. Yeah, it's not much better. But Spear Bailey, not sure. This could be a number of things. So, okay, so this is the one. This should be like I think it's a hexagram that has like lava inside and nothing really good. There's like an Orc Knight. But this isn't one with, acquirements and XP pots. So I'm also interested because I've never done like an Orc Bailey as Bayog, or if I have, I don't remember doing it. So just kind of interested in how it plays out. So not gonna immediately leave, but we do have to be conscientious of glaive wielding Orc warriors. But going okay so far. Let's get throwing up a bit. That seems to be what we're leaning on. Grab our darts down to 4. Yeah, you can see it's just gold in that little corner. Yes, I am your savior, actually. Well spotted. Yeah, so there's the lava, there's the knight. Bunch of warriors. Yeah, we just turn 360 degrees and walk away. Because mighted Orc warriors, that's not something we're going to be able to deal with. But getting them into water like this, one-on-one, totally. Yeah, there's no reason to balance. I think we're pretty well committed to long blades. So, keep going for that. I don't think it matters what direction you come at this from. But, oh, Goblin Rider. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, that's good. I think because they fly, so the water is not going to matter. But 25 damage is a lot. So, oh, that got the Goblin? You can kill the goblin and not the wyvern? Okay. That's good to know. I like round numbers. Like, I really like multiples of 5, which is just like an OCD thing or something. But I think we'll just get more defense. Yeah, that's open. They're on our side. Yeah, so there's only the one inlet. And it's seemingly symmetrical on both sides. So I think this gives better vision. And I wonder if he is going to be smart enough to get across the lava. Right, like, see, the AI sometimes does this, where they... I think it's because I haven't revealed a path to me. He's, like, also limited by the same vision. So we can just boomerang him. Well, now that there's a warrior... We'll do that. And we'll go up a level to Mind Burst and finish with a Smite, okay? Get some more health, cool. Yeah, now I'm just doing my... So he's slow, so I can at least get away from him and do some regen. Okay, let's just... I think we're at 4, yeah, 4 throwing. Alright, cool on Invo, cool on Evo. Get these up a tiny bit. But now the biggest threat in here is neutralized, which is that knight buffing the warriors. So let's... Yeah, we can't deal with them in melee, apparently. So we're gonna just be... Yep. Oh. I was hoping he'd stay in the water. But that works out. Getting low on Curare, but let's see if it's... Okay, not worth it so far. I guess the experience is worth it, right? Oh, okay. I mean, we'll just take it, but +3 Plate of Will, that's a really big deal. And Gloves of Strength, okay. This is now officially worth it. Plate, 7.8 more AC, down to just under 5 EV. With a little training, I think that'll be fine. So, yeah, I think we just, like, the willpower especially, I think is worth using. So, better shape still, overall, I think. There is the temple, which we don't need. Okay, good. We're not getting close to, like, going over on piety for Bayog. It's the thing I'm really worried about. Now that we're in plate, we'll pump armor and get some serious value out of that. Like, Yeah, 0.6 AC and 0.2 EV. That's really nice. Okay. All right. Cool. Very cool. The update to the RC file, seemingly. I don't know if these are these the first uniques we found? We only found we found our first unique in D7. All right. I don't remember another one. So it seems like the update to the RC force more for uniques and panlords works now. So that's very nice. +3 leather positive and rope. So Duvessa doesn't have anything scary, but that obviously we can't take them lightly, right? So we'll get, I mean, we could go north. I think we can just, yeah, let's Curar in a line. Okay, good. That. We'll do that again. And should be able to just slap Duvessa's shit in. And just so we don't accidentally go over on Piety from killing Duvessa. Yeah. Alright, get wrecked on. Take that. Really unlikely that we use it, but you know, might find something. Cool. Actual stuff to buy. Scarf. Good. Could take the Robe of Light. Or Orb of Light, sorry. That, you know, that may be an upgrade while we don't have a shield. We'll increase our accuracy, which helps with, you know, the status application from Curar. I know our stealth is completely tanked from plate, but basically I don't think the upside from Orb of Light is worth the gold this early. +1 hat. It's, you know, it's 1 AC, 3 int for all the 0 spells we're casting. So we'll ignore the shop. And okay, so here's a Maimon. We have poison resist now from the ring and plate armor, so unless I'm missing something, this should be pretty doable, right? Yeah, let's let the orc handle it. All right, that was his version of handling it. And it's even +1 demon whip. Without training, it might just be better than the falchion. So let's see. 56. Let's at least try and get both of them in one. Right, neither are poised, so okay, Maimon's down. Don't want to get challenged randomly. Okay, Piety's down. Still have 1 Mind Burst in the back pocket. Should probably kite until, yeah, we'll kite until the stairs, I think. Well, maybe that's not the best idea. We'll see how it goes. Okay, so he's back. One poison, some darts. Yeah, I just want to separate them, and I think this will be fine. I'm not gonna, yeah. Okay, so that works pretty well for me. Get a bit more fighting. Okay, keep going with that. Six throwing is probably going to be good no matter what. But now we've got what could be an endgame weapon, right? And maybe an immediate upgrade. So that's 14. We're at 13. Base delay 1.1. The fact that it's got a brand, though, almost definitely makes it an upgrade. So we'll go throwing. We'll just get throwing to 6 for Cure R, and probably get like 2 to 4 maces. Because we don't. We've got 3 strength from the gloves, so it's, you know, the stat spread is really comparable on whether we go for a strength weapon or a dex weapon. So I wouldn't be mad about spending some XP just to get the whip a little better, and I think we'll even test it out here. Yeah, I mean, that feels pretty good. Finish off throwing and then get that to 4 just so both are at 0.9 and we can kind of have a fair comparison. I mean, I'm like positive the Demon Whip is better. All things being equal. But you know, getting it to level 4 is really inconsequential. I have some good translocation stuff. Dispersal, Gavat, Passage, you know, Blink a port. So we've got great support spells to go with being a melee guy. And so let's just back up, go around the corner, try and boomerang, see how melee goes. All right, cool. I don't want to deal with a bunch of gnolls. Even though they're just gnolls at this point, they're still a big pain in the open. Yep, said we were gonna go for maces a bit for the Demon Whip. They didn't drop a shield. Another Curare from the Brigand, so let's do that. Just keep our piety nice and low. We might entertain challengers like in Lair, but I don't want to deal with it before that, right? And just making sure I'm not doing anything stupid for the conducts, but Okay, this looks like a bad vault I don't want to deal with. Heretic Priest. Whites. Whites are not great. Yeah, really not great. Could be worse, though. Okay, now they've spotted me. I don't remember if the Force-more worked on a Maimon. So, gotta pay a little more attention to that. Yeah, that's fine. We'll just deal with this guy. +4 longsword, though, is gonna, at the very least, replace the falchion, and maybe better than the demon whip. At least, yeah, definitely against things that are poison immune. We can just go back to the longsword. So, bad news for the undead. They're only making me stronger. Yeah, Battle Axe Boy, you can come with me. Yep, cool. Okay. Yeah, even with the longsword, I think I'll still train up. Still train up the mace. Yeah, so let's actually do that. This is not a good position to be in, though. Let's start using some stuff. Probably not even worth swapping, right? Maybe it is, I don't know. Okay, made it through that. Kind of scary. Unclear on what weapon I should use. Or if if I have wasted experience in maces. Hello. More orcs. And yaks. So this time we'll just stick with the longsword for yaks. See how that goes. Yeah, went fine. The poison probably doesn't beat out the what, like 4 extra damage. Let's... Yeah, the shape-shifting, spellcasting, or nothing. Because I'm still not sure about the weapon. We'll just do... We'll do armor and fighting, and see where we are in a little bit. Okay, fighting. Do not get your piety up. Okay. Vampire is a problem. Let's... I don't need to scroll down at all. All my options are up here. If he goes invisible... Alright, so he... 15% to confuse. There's not really a great path away. Like, it's long enough that he's almost definitely gonna be able to confuse me. So we'll start with a boomerang. This might, you know, won't miss even if he's invisible. But the boomerang will get a penalty. Okay. There we go. Alright, it could have been way worse, but he chose not to do any of his scary stuff. Which is very kind of him. These guys, though, yeah, you shouldn't be a problem. No shield yet, though. Alright. Plenty of whites. Just gotta stay on top of the piety because I think as soon as you hit 3 stars, you have to deal with a challenge. And I just don't want to. Simple as, you know? You get pretty lucky on the snake, and literally nothing worth getting in there. Vaguely, maybe we'll want cold resist for something. Yeah, there's a +0 scimitar somewhere. Okay. Acid dragon. No, we're not. We're not fuxing with that. Okay, so the stairs are all in the same spot, basically. So we just have to take a couple at a time and bounce around the stairs. The bottommost one. Okay, middle stair. Take 1, 2 of you. It can, you know, just barely tank 2. 20 AC, 5 EV, 5 SH. Decent yak stats, apparently. Fighting getting up to 10, 90 health. Darts our only option, really. So, good thing we've got 6 throwing. Yeah, we should be in okay shape, but just out of caution, we'll just fight one at a time because we're right here. The terrain lets us do it. There's no reason to be lazy. Okay, one more. Yeah, just slowly peeling apart these yaks. We'll take this up. I think that, yeah, it's at 1.0 right now. Get it to match the Demon Whip. And again, you know, kind of pushes us towards long blades some more. But I'm okay with that. Because the Demon Whip, at least really we gotta worry about what we can get before the first rune, right? Because we're not going to be able to enchant anything. Like I can't just make the Demon Whip +9, right? I can't brand the longsword, so really at the mercy of the floor gods. Okay, great. Restocked on Curare. These bastards, though, are poise, so they don't care about that. I don't have a real option for them. I could use Bayog. Yeah, we'll try Bayog, I guess. Yeah, already 8 corrosion. Really not great. But this is why Bayog is actually pretty good. Yeah, it can no longer smite, so yeah, you're fine, Steamy Boy. Where's there decent terrain for this? I mean, there basically isn't. I just need to take them all the way back to the stair. Even then, this is maybe too much. Yeah, it was, you know, a little much, but we did it. Ooh, excellent. Okay, we're back in HuWn territory. That's a huge deal. Just as much technology as we can find. Like, I'll even take the Steam scales. I've got the staves. Everything is... The RC stuff is working as intended, so that's great. Down to 0.9 on the longsword. And got a D11 Lair, which is, you know, as deep as you can get. Oop. Okay, cool. Multiple trolls. Nobody wants to deal with that. If you could just... Okay, I guess you can't get slowed. It's rude, honestly. Don't want to ice blast you, and I can just give you a smiting. Nothing lost. Ring of Fire. You know, I'm not going to walk around in that, but it's good to have the option. 10 long blades. I think armor. I think we'll be in the plate mail for a bit. Okay, so, you know, the force more seems to work. Where now we're forced to acknowledge Nurgle. I don't think they have any resists. They're really, really dangerous, though. So, take a second to think. You know, too late to try and put positive energy on. But we can Curar and Ice Blast and Smite. And I think be okay. Now we want to Ice Blast. Melee. Yeah, that's not great. Keep Ice Blasting. One's gone. Melee. Melee. Okay. Psyche comes in view. Chaos Dagger. Smite Nurgle. And okay, so invisible Psyche now, and no smiting. I'm not... Don't remember exactly what Psyche can do. Pretty sure they've been removed in Trunk. So this is nearby creatures. I'm assuming it's melee range-ish, since there's not a range on it. And polymorph. So, oh, they are fast. That's That's disturbing. Okay, so alright, I think it's actually just curare where she might be. Something tries to affect you. Step, okay, they're still there. I'm assuming they've been hit by one of these. And there we go. Okay. Bit spoopy having two uniques at once. But we made it. We survived. Honestly, the acid dragon is probably more dangerous. Right? Yeah, that one wasn't. Yeah, let's just get this into a hallway. He got it reflected back at him, so that's nice. And extra cure for us. Still fairly laggy. What is... Yeah, it's got an open door at the bottom. Is it enclosed down here? Okay. I guess you come at it from the floor below and then can... I guess it's a crab vault, like it's got fortress talisman. Maybe there's something in the doored off rooms, but yeah, this is a little sketchy right here. Yeah, we may want to just get 62. If it could work, that would be fantastic. Start doing this. Basilisk, not a big threat. Not our poise. Okay. Just, yeah, 15%. I think they're the only things. Okay. Okay, cool. Gastronoc. Okay, I'm really happy to have this force more, honestly, because if I'm manually exploring, it would take me like half a second or a second to clock that, and this just freezes me in place. So that's wonderful. And Gastronoc, though, potentially dangerous. With poison, though, basically a goober. Right, he like can't dodge. He's slow. And you can just keep poisoning him, you know, just slowly. Like ideally you would do this with an immo scroll. Okay, you slowed me, okay. But what if I slow you? Right, I've still got Ice Blast. I still have Smite. That might be a good idea, because Gastronaut could put me like over the piety edge. So we'll do, okay, now we're safe. Oh no, small mammals. And there goes Gastronoc. So, yeah, we'll just keep armor going. It's giving a really good amount. right? It's like 0.6. Yeah, 0.6 and 0.2. We'll get that to 10 and reevaluate, I think. And boots, finally. Okay, so it's going to get even more valuable now that we have all our aux slots covered. The hat is not a helmet, though, so we don't get base AC for that. But still a really solid amount of AC to have going into Lair. Atropa to, potentially useful with some stealth and throwing. Full inventory finally, but I think we're in pretty good shape overall. The magic regen will drop. Still in plate, we can drop wizardry. Got the poison resist ring. We'll drop a couple of these things. We'll most likely, so 17, 5, 10, 3, 15, 3, 12, 2. Really similar, but the scale mail, I think, 27, 8 total. Yeah, it's slightly better. So we can drop that. Have some basic resist swaps, have some decent-ish throwing options, Curare being big. +4 longsword, not a great workhorse, honestly. But we made it to Lair. Unfortunate that I couldn't stream it, but we're just in a pickle with the internet. Don't know how to resolve it. Don't know what the issue is, really. Hopefully I'll get it figured out, though, at some point in the future, so I can do this with some regularity. Shouldn't need stones. And the rest of this I'm happy with. Beog's still at 1 star. These defenses, honestly, for this early, really, really happy with. Like, it's a bit of a shame to be trying to go dex and wear plate armor, but, this is obviously the best thing we have access to. Right? Like, we could buy the +4 plate of fire, but I think the money is best saved for orc. We could get orb of light. Again, I think we'll find a shields in orc by the time it's more relevant. So into Lair we go. Immediate Ice Blast Wand. 6 charges. Cool. Yak Pack. Let's pull you apart. I'm not sure. I don't have like a internal benchmark for like the defensive stats of a strong melee character in Lair, but I think this has got to be up there, right? Like, it's not crazy, but 25 AC feels like a lot. That should, like that, yeah, like this only hits for 20, right? And kicks our ass anyways. Cool. So, poison resistant, can't do much about that. I guess it's Smitey time. Yep. I don't know if Bayo decays particularly quickly or something, but yeah. We should have, yeah, we have 15 Ice Blast and Bayo's Smite occasionally, you know, when we're lucky. We have good timing. As pretty decent outs for the scarier stuff like Mambas and Cane Toads. So if we do get poisoned significantly, you know, it doesn't look great for us overall. But I'm actually gonna, I know this is weird with plate armor, but the Atropa scale off stealth and throwing. So if I can get, so let's just look right now at 6 throwing, 3 stealth, right? It's 5370 on a water moccasin, which is a fairly decent option, right? At same level, it's a bit boosted because of their wandering, but decent chance to hit in blind. So yeah, still the same. So 7151. The blind is really nice. So I think it's just nice to have as an option. 6 might be kind of high, but I just like it having symmetry with throwing. But I shouldn't get that caught up in making my numbers look pretty. It's not going to help me win. Okay, come with me. Okay, very surrounded. Could charm. Let's do that. I might just want to get a little more info because Smite is doing a lot of work and I think everything else is at a pretty good level. More Evo would make sense too. So we'll just get those up a bit. Those are our main options here. Yeah, like I can get in the little crevice here. And that should... yeah, alright. That worked out. I guess that ate all my curare though, pretty much. So... not looking good in that regard. Rapidly losing options. Yeah, let's just not let this get too out of hand if we can avoid it. Yeah, I took the time today. I think I've showed that I have a really bare RC file. I actually took the time to read through all of the documentation today. And there are quite a few options that I am actually interested in that I think would, you know, potentially like improve my play. One of them being like the force more on uniques. Like that's just helpful. But there's also other stuff for like quality of life too. Like one big thing I want to do, and this is kind of silly and probably inconsequential, so I don't think I'll do it immediately. But you can customize text color, right? And I think that'll make, you can kind of organize it by message type, or keywords, I think, as well. So I'd really like a couple things changed just to make reading the log easier. Like it's hard for me to figure out like where in this did I do something. Like trying to find the U in all of that when it's all the same color is a bit much. But here's one of our first major challenges, the Dread Hydra. The longsword will cut heads off, so pretty much have to use the Demon Whip. Not excited about meleeing it, but we're in a great position for it, right? So if shit gets sour, we can back off into the teleport trap. So start off with that, one of those, give it a smack or two. Okay, it's a bit poisoned. Maybe slow it with that. I don't want to deal with the Komodo, especially with low health, so we're just going for the sure thing with Smite. I don't want to mess around with that. No real reason to get dodging up. It's just, again, a stupid number symmetry thing. Multiple Komodos. Much less appealing. Do that. You come with me. Oh, still had someone up here. Okay. Maybe maces and flails are worth getting a bit more of, but it's basically a Hydra weapon, realistically. So we'll just do more fighting. It's always a good use of experience when you're not sure where to go. Okay, I think it's safe to... Ooh, Sky Shark. Let's see if we can't... I'm gonna break away from that. Yeah, sure, you got scary breath. Very scary. Come here. Shouldn't be an issue one at a time, unless we get really hosed by Constrict. Ugh. Annoying. Now I want more Evo, because one of my only real options in a crap situation like that. we've still not found a shield. And there's the Sky Shark that I really wanted to avoid. Yep, he sees me. So up we go. This comes over there, yeah, back over there. Gotta be really, you know, gotta make good use of stair dancing when you have basically no options because of Ascetic. Like this, like normally I might just be like, yeah, we'll fight and it'll be fine. Nope. Get my darts. Just keep backing off, being safe. Really happy to have this teleport trap to bail me out. Okay, finish fighting. Nothing really there. Okay, Sky Shark time. Don't think we can really get away. They're aware of us. They're 142% travel speed, just an oddly specific number. But they are cold-blooded. Same with the Komodo, so we can slow them with Ice Blast, and also Curare. So what is the hit chance? 74 and 74. Definitely care more about the shark, and it worked on them. And we'll keep doing that. Okay, and the shark should be slowed for probably the rest of our fight. But if I move, alright, how can I move that I can still, I think if I go up, I can still, no, that was not correct, but it didn't need to be. That's good. Remember not to go into a branch, not to leave Lair and go to Orc. Just gotta pop our heads into slime before we do anything. Yeah, those things really are posing a problem. Wolfpack, 12 damage versus 25 AC. I don't think they're gonna do well. The bear doesn't seem to be smart enough to... Alright, now we figured out how to get across the water. Yeah, it's starting to feel pretty tabby. I don't want to deal with that. And just, again, these double moves. Gonna be the death of me. So, Tropa 22%, unfortunately. You know, maybe if we had trained stealth more, but this is definitely just like a Curare Ice Blast situation. Like, there's almost nothing to do to it once it's Berserk. So it's actually, I don't think we can charm it if it's Berserk, but if we can charm it now, yeah, that didn't work. Okay. Perhaps a poor choice. Now it's probably got to be Curare, right? Gotta try and slow it down. Go on 74. Failed on 74. Okay. Our other option, Ice Blast. Yeah, this is not gonna go well. 6 plus 3d9. So that's 13 on average, 19 damage-ish. Ice Blast, average 18. All right, it's almost no different. So 18 average, potential to slow. This is, you know, a higher minimum at least. We could low roll on Ice Blast. We're less likely to low roll on Smite. But we have, you know, we have 5 health. So I think it's Smite. And I think we die here regardless. So praise Bayog. Gonna go unship my pants real quick. That was fucking brutal. Do I need like a force more for Sky Sharks? Like, I feel like they're goddamn terrifying. That was really not good. I guess let's just, yeah, let's put stuff in shafts. Just because it's funny. What's probably going to happen now is I'll get shafted into Lair 4, and it'll be worse for me because I shafted all that other stuff. But we'll see it when it happens. No, they have goodwill. I've got the one Curare, but getting into some lag, which is always exciting. Maybe my internet's just dead again. Yeah, WebSocket connection closed. That's a regular occurrence. At least it came right back. I mean, and this is why I always just want an axe. Like, you'll just get surrounded playing the game, and then run into a fucking wyvern on the other side too. I think that. Oh, this is fucking gross. Yeah, what is the out here? What, like, all the staircases are over there. It would probably be a bad idea to just run to the right. Well, I am a human. So I wonder. No, merfolk. Okay. Not going great. Not many options. Not good terrain. The merfolk, that's, you know, clearly a shoal's entrance. I don't think that helps me in any way. But I do spot this choke point here. Now, I don't know if fighting is the right thing to do even. Okay, this is a better position at least. The elephants can't really outrun that well. Again, I could do the goofy thing, and I mean, because it's human, it's not as goofy, but I can just keep going into the black and heal from this, and you know, get in this sort of not good position. But if I keep, yeah, I don't like the merfolk. Yeah, keep doing this. Okay, so this is, I can get I guess one swing in. But we should be able to get away. Assuming that doesn't happen. And that doesn't happen. Is this now going to be where I die after all that effort? Not much more black to run to. Do wonder where the third staircase is. Could try to get to this staircase I don't think it gets me into like any better position though, you know what I mean? 2 Ice Blast, Atropa. How is Atropa on various things? Good on the Wyvern, not good on the Merfolk. Also not good on the Elephant. I think maybe I do have to kind of loop around though. Like go up here. Right, okay. Could try atroping one in a hallway, which might block the other ones. So let's just try that a little bit. Ugh. They're learning pincer maneuvers. So now please just cooperate. Jesus Christ, thank you. Okay, not out of the woods yet by any means. But we know Atropa is fairly good on those. Completely out of wand charges now. Yep, painful. Okay, 12 fighting. Probably 12 long blades, because now we're essentially out of options. Get a little more invo. Try not to bring a challenger on ourselves inadvertently still. Okay, okay, another wand. Wand of Light, okay. Good option. Maybe not my favorite beam wand, but a really good one. What's happening over here? Yeah, we're still having tech issues. And let's see. Okay, so what I'd like to do now, I think this is pretty decent progress for first day. Highly unfortunate that my internet isn't any better. I don't know what to do about it. I'm gonna have to talk to, tech support at my ISP, which is, never feels good. It never feels fruitful. So we'll see how that goes. And maybe at some point in the future can actually get a consistent stream. A man can dream, right? Poison Dart is really putting in work for this build. I mean, it's not a build, you know. And obviously, we're not doing this stupid trap death vault here. Like, it was just a rude thing to put in the game, honestly. But, you know, what can you do? Very highly goofy. Like, it's funny. But also mean, you know. Is there anything that I just didn't... Nope. Okay, so we're gonna pause here. Someone whose stream does work, Draconius, I guess, is going live. So we're gonna put a pin in it here. Maybe later tonight, I don't know, if the internet goblins calm down, I might try again. Or I might just keep recording it offline. Like, at least it'll be on YouTube. And silver lining, it gives me some reason to figure out entry-level video editing. Let's call it that. I'll want to splice together the couple recordings I've made, so it's not just a horrible, unwatchable mess of me waiting for my internet to come back. But yeah, I'll stop rambling. And hopefully we can get further in this today. Still Ascetic, still hanging in there. We'll see how it goes. Take care.